So, what was I thinking? So today we're gonna talk about the importance of being yourself. Being yourself. Why is it important to be yourself? Because when you're being yourself, you feel good about yourself. That's one. But being yourself has a few implications. You can be yourself and be a negative person, or you can be yourself and be a positive person. So being yourself starts with yourself. You need to realize who exactly are you. And the best way to find that out is by asking yourself very honest questions and answering them in a very honest manner. Don't lie to yourself. It's only in your benefit to tell yourself the truth. Only the truth will set you free. So be yourself. Being yourself is very important, but while you're being yourself, make sure you're mindful of your surrounding, because there are other people around you too that would love to be themselves, and by them being themselves, they can easily hurt you in return. So this is how you can become the better version of yourself. In order to become the better version of yourself, you will need to have a strong philosophy. By having a strong philosophy, you'll be able to make an honest self-assessment, and you'll also be able to know yourself better, quicker. You will be able to learn exponentially. Developing your philosophy is done through learning. When you learn through almost anything. Experiences, books, you name it. Friends that you have, you learn from them too. Your friends, the books, and everywhere that you learn something from affect your philosophy. And as you develop your philosophy, you'll be able to start making decisions from the philosophy that you've developed. Which is why it's important to have a very good philosophy to be the better version of yourself. You will know what you like to do, and you will know what you don't like to do. Everybody's made differently. The cat down the road, I'm using somebody's expression, that's funny, but the cat down the road, he knows himself, and he knows what he likes and what doesn't like. But sometimes, the cat down the road might lie to himself, me included, not being themselves. You don't find joy by not being yourself. That's why it's very important for you to be the product of your own decisions. The best way to become the product of your own decisions is by developing your philosophy. If you do something that is not the product of your own decision, do you feel good about it most of the time? Okay, I would say most of the time. Most people usually go through the motion and basically just expect people to make very good decisions for them. But that's a pitfall of life. You need to get to a point where you start thinking and making decisions for yourself. Because usually other people don't have much planned for you. You need to start making conscious decisions to become a better version of yourself for the greater good. Let's put it that way, for the greater good. So, while you're chasing your dreams and you have all those goals, yes, you're gonna start picking up habits that are not you at first, but when you make the decision yourself to do those things, then that will be the product of your own decision. Decision is a key word here. I've been using it over 100 times almost. You need to make a decision. If you don't make a decision, somebody else will make it for you. What does somebody else have planned for you? Not much. Be yourself and develop your philosophy. Developing your philosophy is the ground, like your garden. So let's say you're developing philosophy, which is the ground. When you develop it, in order to start, you need to plant the seed. The seed are the thoughts, You let the seeds come into your philosophy, which is the ground. Now, those seeds, you have negative seeds, you have positive seeds. Whether good or bad, those seeds will eventually grow and they will bear fruits. That's why it's very careful for you on how you develop your philosophy. You can be yourself, but don't lose yourself in the process. I know, kind of like goes together in a funny way. You can be yourself, but don't lose yourself in the way. the way I do it, which is not the way you have to do it, I remain myself while double checking myself with God, making sure that what I am doing that brings me joy lines up with what the Creator wants for me. So in the process, I'm being authentic, I'm being myself. I'm not trying to play the, not to make fun of everybody, the sister that has the little, stuff on her head trying to hide things, holier than thou type scenario. It's nice to do all that, yes. But if you walk closely with God, He'll start working with you. He'll start working with you. And you start making steps that will not seem as hard than when you're trying to be something that you are not. So be yourself and keep God in mind, and everything will fall in place. I hear a lot of people saying, oh, this is God's will for me, this is God's will for me and this person and stuff like that. It's perfectly fine, but I think it's important not to fall into the pitfall of naming things that you want as God's will. Because I think if you walk with Him, you will eventually find His will. If you truly walk with God with all your heart, you will find His will for you. Don't try to paint the picture yourself. Be honest with yourself. Find yourself. Be honest with yourself. Analyze yourself. Ask yourself questions. Like, for example, what do I like to do? Is that something good to do? I mean, it doesn't hurt to think. Thinking is the key here. Think. And in order to be able to think properly, you will need to develop your philosophy. Your philosophy is the set of the sail. You can set your sail towards the rocks, or you can set the sail towards your goals. Develop your philosophy by learning, and be yourself, and keep God in mind, and everything will fall in place. That's what I was thinking. Until next time.